On this episode of Lip's Garage, we're going on a road trip. So those that follow any of my socials or any of my videos know I really like the Motor Trend shows, specifically Roadkill Garage, Hot Rod Garage. There's a few other that we get in and out of, but those are the top three that we watch. Faster with Finnegan / Cotton and Newbern is one that we'll catch on occasion when we can. So I really like what they do. I really like their style and mentality, and it honestly just feels real, not staged like a whole lot of these other ones. So I follow them when I can. I got into the Hot Rod Power Tour for a couple of years, and I would like to do more of their events as time, allows me to do so. One that came up this year that I'm able to attend is the Duct Tape Drags down in Tucson, Arizona. So talked it over with my manager and my financial advisor, aka my wife, and found a way to make it happen. So I'm going from western Wisconsin. I'm going to take kind of the northern route through Denver, take some time to go through Moab, go back through Monument Valley, which I did on another road trip you guys might see in the future, into Phoenix to pick up a buddy of mine, and then heading to Tucson for a couple of days for the Duct Tape Drags. I'm not going to race. I'm just going to go as a spectator this year because I don't think my ride will be much good. My ride of choice for this trip is my daily driver 2010 Toyota Sienna. We've had this thing for, I'd say probably about 5 years, maybe as many as 6. It's been a good vehicle for us. The only real mechanical failure I had was an unexpected water pump go out. I was able to get that taken care of. Most everything else I've done has been either routine maintenance or just modifying things for my own personal pleasure. So for summer driving, I actually found that the Mustang rims have the same lug spacing and just got a little bit different hub center. I did have to switch out to more of a bolt style lug nut, but they do fit. They look pretty good. Just put brand new tires on the thing. So what were they? Bridgestone Turanzas. Working on a color change. There's too many of these weird denim blue Toyotas floating around. So I'm kind of going some hot rod, doing like a burnt orange. This is just kind of an idea. See how it turns, see if I want to do more of like a rat rod style, if I want to do an official paint. I did do some aftermarket blackout headlights with LED, not built into them, just an LED conversion bulb. So get a lot more visibility. I did put an aftermarket Pioneer deck in. This one does have DVD capability. It's got Apple Play, Android Auto, capability. So I can bring my GPS navigation and stuff up like that. I did put in a set of headrest monitors, but I was having an issue with them because, when you buy the cheapest thing you can, they don't quite always work right. So I had to put the factory ones back in, but I did have a set of 7-inch monitors here for road trips. Kids spend more time on their phones than they did on those, and the screens weren't great anyway. And for movies, I do have my tablet, which works a little bit better, and I can pipe that in through the sound. I also have a small under-seat subwoofer. Make some room here. Not enough that I'm going to win any audio competitions with, but enough to give good sound when I've got the theater going. This one in particular does have the fold-down back seats, but it's got the removable center seat. It's not the full stow and go, which is fine. See, I'm already packed and loaded for the most part. Being a car guy, I've got all kinds of car stuff. I will get into those later. So I've had some fun with this van. I've may or may not have evidence of doing 110 miles an hour down the Dan Ryan, chasing a Ferrari and Lamborghini with this thing, shaking all to beat hell, but it did it. I drive Lyft and Uber on occasion, just for a little bit of extra income. And I got a tip from a guy one time because he didn't think that it would do a burnout, so I lit him up. Not crazy, but enough to get me a decent tip out of it. So it's a fun little van. I like to be excited by what I drive, and Toyotas in general just don't do it for me. Some of the older ones are pretty cool in a retro way, but some of the new stuff, it's just, you know, just it doesn't get that spirit in me. But having said that, this has been a really good vehicle. I've hauled drywall and plywood with this thing. I've towed cars with it. I towed my giant toolbox when I stopped working at a shop with it. It's done me well. We've got like 50,000 miles into it, and we're trying to decide, are we gonna, you know, put some into it to keep it going. I've done rear shocks and springs. I've done front control arms and some other license maintenance stuff, driver's side half shaft, things like that, just to keep her going. But it's one of those things where, with the price of cars right now, just honestly, am I going to blow this thing apart and basically rebuild it and keep it going for another 10 years? Or are we going to wait and see about upgrading down the road? So you might see some of that in future episodes. So this is the route I'm taking from, again, western Wisconsin all the way down to Tucson, taking a little bit of a roundabout way. Let me see. I think that's the route that I wanted to take, because it's a no toll route and didn't change a whole lot. So one of the reasons why I'm choosing this route, a buddy of mine that I grew up with, you'll meet him. He lives in Orlando now, and he wanted to come this weekend with me, but he can't take the time off like I can to drive it. I hate planes. I don't get in a plane unless I absolutely have to. Whatever. It's a therapy, trauma thing. Let it go. But the route I'm taking, there's a couple different ways, and it doesn't really change my overall path by more than about an hour or so. When you're talking about over a day of driving, like over 24 hours of driving, an hour isn't really any big deal. But I'm going to come through the Denver area and go through Moab. I'd like to take a peek there while I'm coming through, and, you know, not necessarily, you know, getting any of the parks. Depends on what my time frame is. I've got 2.5 days at this point to get out there. I am running about 2 hours late. But then coming back down through Monument Valley again, and again, not really stopping, but just kind of go through, you know, the fact that I've got the opportunity to see that twice this year. That was part of the other road trip I was talking about. That's always been on my top 5 bucket list, is going through there, and be able to do it twice in a year is amazing. But anyway, from there, I'll get down into Phoenix, and from Phoenix, we head to Tucson Speedway. So my wife really wanted to come with me, but wasn't able to get the time cleared. So found out how to do it myself. One of the things to kind of affect the time frame and the cost, because I am who I am, is, as you noticed maybe a minute ago, I did take out the seats, and I've got a mattress back here. I'm a driver, you know, point me in a direction, and I drive. My longest single drive, I think, was right around 26 hours. I was going to a little town outside Toronto called Trenton. And, you know, coming from Wisconsin, going down around Lake Michigan, coming up through Detroit, Windsor, and all that. And it just, there was weather delays. Every major town I went through had some type of stop up, whether traffic or accident or things like that. I should not have been driving that long, but 26 hours. It's not uncommon when I go to, like, say, Nashville or something like that, to do 17 hours. Granted, I wasn't 44 years old when I did it. I know that's going to affect things. But when it's just me, I basically fill one tank, empty another tank, back on the road and go. And when I get tired, pull over in a rest stop, nap for a couple hours, get back in the car and keep driving. So it's a little bit different time frame for me. I don't worry about hotels or anything like that. Now, if the wife was with me, if the kids were with me, yeah, we drive for 8 to 10 hours, get in a hotel, whatever. But the way I am, you know, it's probably going to be drive, you know, 6-8 hours, nap for 2-3 hours, drive for 6-8 hours. So I'll probably be a little bit disoriented when I get there, get my time frame back. And on the way home, I won't have to do that. But I do have kind of a time frame, especially if there are some things that I want to stop and see along the way. But having said that, let's go ahead and buckle up. I'm going to get all my little electronics and stuff going and hit the road. All right, been on the road for about 5 hours. My first stop is Shelby, Iowa, just shy of Council Bluffs and Omaha. I'm going to try and push through to at least Lincoln tonight. There is a hobby shop I want to stop at, take a look. It'll be a good time to get out, stretch, everything like that, see how I'm feeling, see if I'm going to keep pushing on. But need to fill the gas tank, need to drain the other tank, and maybe grab some road snacks, and then back on the way. All right, we're at the next stop of my little barn burning tour to get down to Arizona. and we are at Hobbytown, USA in Lincoln, Nebraska. Now, with me, I'm everything automotive, anything and everything. I've got a Hot Wheels collection. I collect plastic models, static models, things like that. But I also get into RC cars. When people ask me where I learned how to work on cars, honestly, it started, putting together plastic models and getting an understand, okay, this is where the engine is, this is a transmission, this is suspension, this is rear diff, kind of getting an understanding of the layout. And then I got into radio control cars. And I'm not talking about the thing you buy at Walmart. I mean, good fun, but these are a little bit different. This gave me an idea of, okay, you change the spring on a shock, or you change the fluid in it, that's going to change the dynamic. How does that change how it handles? What kinds of tires do you want on asphalt? What kind of tires do you want on dirt? Changing the gear ratio. Okay, you're going to have a higher top speed, but it's going to take you a bit to get there. How does that affect your battery life? Things like that. So the actual mechanics started with radio control cars. And then it went to working on cars of my own because I couldn't afford a mechanic, and then just kind of went from there. So I do have a few different models. These are the three that I'm bringing with me. I've had several times throughout the years. This guy here, it's a two-wheel drive electric. So you've got some RC cars that'll run on a nitromethanol mix or a nitro mix. This one's an electric, runs off a battery pack, and it's called the Traxxas Rustler. It's a two-wheel drive stadium truck. This one here is a Traxxas Fortec. It's an all-wheel drive, basically a sedan type car. The body itself is actually a Factory 5 truck kit. Factory 5 is a kit car manufacturer, has some pretty cool things. They actually have one of the best Cobra kits out there as well, and maybe one day I'll get into more about that company, what they offer. One of the newest things, these are all by a company called Traxxas, by the way. One of the newest ones that they have are what they call their drag slash. So the old school stadium trucks looks like this. The newer stadium trucks look a bit different, what you see on the TV today. And Traxxas two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive variant of that in the hobby model is called a slash. So what they did with this is they turned it into a drag racing setup. And I'll get a little bit more into how they all differ at another time, because I want to get in the store before they close. But this one does have a Fox Body Mustang body on it, which I got that because my son and I are going to be building a 79 Mustang. But it is actually a new class of RC racing, a heads-up drag racing. So I'll get into those a little bit more, but just kind of give an idea, I am bringing these on the trip.
All right, I made it about 700 miles yesterday. I stopped outside North Platte, State of the Loves. My goal is to get to Moab today, so we'll see how that goes. That should only be about a 10-hour drive, give or take, depending on how the mountains do me. But it'll be going past Denver, which has been a while since I've been that way, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, goal today is somewhere around Grand Junction, Moab area. So let's get some gas, get some food, and get back on the road.
So left North Platte early this morning. I'm quite a bit ways. I've been through Denver, through all that. I did a real short stop in some little town, and I just stopped in Grand Junction, Colorado, on my way to Moab. So I'm a little ahead of schedule at this point, believe it or not. And I should be at Moab around 4 o'clock. So I'm going to take a look at a few things while I'm going through the area. There's a hotel my wife wants me to take a look at. On our other road trip, we were possibly going to go through Moab, and she saw the hotel she liked. So I'm going to take a peek and see if it's as good as what the pictures showed. Not going to go into Arches, going to save that for a family trip. But I'll go past some of those, just kind of see what I can see from the highway. From what I understand, there's quite a bit you can see from there, and start getting my way toward Monument Valley. Not sure where my end destination is going to be. The further I can get, the less drive I have tomorrow. Again, my goal or my timeline is I have to be in Phoenix by 10 p.m. local time tomorrow. So everything's been going pretty good. brakes are a little sketchy after going through the mountains. They work, they just got some wobble to them, which I'm aggressive with brakes anyway, so I'm gonna have to find a little better set than just factory replacement. Transmission might have been a little bit punky for a while. I let it sit and cool down a bit. I'm sure that the temperature was up. I just fueled up and checked all the fluids. The oil's looking good. The transmission's looking good. Doesn't smell burnt or anything. And it might have just been me too. You know, you're up there in the mountains and everything, and I know altitude sickness is a real thing. So everything might have been working fine. It might have just been me dealing with the altitude. But right now I'm back on the road. Everything's looking good. My next check-in will be from the Moab area, a place I've never been before, so I'm excited to see that. Again, driving through the mountains, never a bad day driving through the mountains, at least to me. I love this stuff. It's always, again, I say it over and over and over again. This area of the country is just, it always calls to me. So, again, next check-in will be from Moab. I know a lot of this is a bunch of driving. The real event is going to be coming up in a couple of days. So bear with me, follow along. The payout will be worth it, I promise. Alright, so I got my quick stop in Moab, and I'm heading town towards Monument Valley again. Moab will be a stop maybe next season that we want to definitely take a drive to and spend some time, go through the national park and all that. I have time to do it now, but that'd be really, really unfair to my wife, so I'm going to pass up that opportunity so we can enjoy it for the first time together. Again, Monument Valley we were at earlier this summer, so it's not a big deal if I spend some more time there. But I've still got a couple hours of daylight left. I might swing by Mexican Hat because we did not see that when we came out, and then try and camp overnight somewhere near Monument Valley, spend some time around there in the morning, then heading over to Phoenix, kind of have it be a little bit more of a chill drive day after a couple long ones. So, back on the road. So I made it out to the next monument that I wanted to stop at. It's eerily quiet after all the road buzz and everything I've been on for 2 days, but where is it at? Looks like I can't zoom it in on that one, so we'll go to that side. Mexican Hat. Not really sure why it's called that. It's one of those natural formations due to wind and erosion and all that. And it's not just that. I mean, it's the whole area. As I was coming up the road, you could just see Monument Valley in the distance. You can't really see it now because of what's in the way. But yeah, super cool. Alright, so I have decided to camp right underneath the rock. They do have night camping, you know, doing like vehicle camping and stuff like that after tax and fees for 25 bucks a night. I only wanted to get as far as Monument Valley, which is only 20 miles up the road tonight anyway. So this is going to be cool. It's going to be underneath the sky. I'll be able to see all the stars and everything, maybe get a good shot of the Milky Way. Just be nice, quiet, pleasant evening. Pretty easy drive tomorrow. I'll be able to get a couple of utility things done that I want to do before I meet my buddy at the airport. So in the meantime, I've got a great view of the rock. I'm going to throw on some jeans, maybe do a little bit of hiking while I'm out here. And then I've got just enough charge on the battery for my little RC car. So this one, again, is the Traxxas Rustler. It is a two-wheel drive, so only the rears are driven. It's what they call a stadium truck. Yeah, I said I have a number of these over the years. They keep getting better and better and better from the factory. This is pretty decent for a beginner, but it gives you a lot of ability to hop up down the road if you want to, depending on what kind of electronics you run, what kind of battery you run. I mean, these things can legit go 70. This one will probably only do like 30, 35 the way I have it set up. It's kind of meant, you know, just as much for me, but just as much for the kids, kind of bashing around and banging. The other ones are going to be much faster, and hopefully by the end of the weekend, I'll be able to show you guys some of those as well. I do not have another person here for videography. We'll see how well I do everything one-handed. Yeah, the loose rock makes it a little less than stable. Some of the newer ones do have lighting to them. I'll show you that with my little factory 5-piece. But I'm gonna do some banging around, have some fun with this before I lose the light. Then, like I said, maybe go do some hiking, and then I do have a camp stove, and maybe make a quick meal before it gets super late, and then just kind of chill back, listen to some music, and just kind of be one with nature. And then got my little bed here, and we'll see you again in the morning.
So after camping out at Mexican Hat, I'm getting an early start on the day today. Nice, quiet, peaceful, beautiful. If there were other folks with me, you know, it'd be a little different. Have a little campfire, a little more party. I ended up just kind of kicking back, relaxing. Just a very uneventful evening. So, like I said, early start. I've got a little while to go through Monument Valley. It is still going to be dark when I get through it. Again, having gone there earlier this year, it's not like I'm completely missing out, but I am getting towards Flagstaff and then into Phoenix. And like I said, I got a few maintenance things to get done while I'm there. You know, clean up the van, get a vacuum, stuff like that, car wash. And then start the next leg of this weekend. So, next chore is to find some coffee. A little too early in the morning for most places to be open. I need to find my coffee.
All right, been on the road for a couple hours this morning. I did get my coffee, so yay. I'm in Flagstaff now. I'm gonna walk around Walmart a little bit, kind of stretch, pick up a couple of necessities, refill a few things, and then start making my way to Phoenix. I did end up getting a hotel for tonight, so I can get a shower. I don't know if it's just weird shadows or not, but I can definitely use a rinse. And then from there, I said I'll be picking up my buddy at the hotel, or excuse me, at the airport tonight, chilling out at the hotel, and then heading over to Tucson tomorrow. I do apologize. I've been feeling a little under the weather while I've been doing some editing. That video is going to take a bit longer than I was thinking it was going to. So again, as I've done in the past, I'm going to cut it down to a half-hour segment. So this one might be, I'd say maybe 3. I'm taking a little more time getting out to the event, and I'll have some pictures and videos during the event, and not really going to show anything on the way home because a lot of it would be repeat. I didn't stop and see near as much. I just kind of wanted to get home at that point. So at the end of it, I'm also going to have some videos of some of the interesting things I saw while I was driving down there. Just things I stopped and saw on the road. I did have some videos of Monument Valley. The really interesting thing about that is the lighting in the background was not sunrise. That was actually the reflection of the moon in the desert, which is really cool. It gave a really awesome effect. Again, I was able to stay at Mexican Hat, which is really cool, a little camp out thing. So this is going to wrap up the video for this time, and I should be on time next week with the second part of my trip. And then again, the third video will be a couple of the pictures and a couple of videos while I was there. So we'll see how everything goes, how everything lays out for time, but that's kind of the plan right now. As I say every time, I do appreciate everybody that watches these. If you've got any comments, if you've got any suggestions, feel free to leave them. Like and subscribe. You guys know the drill. That definitely helps. Lets me know that these are worth putting out for everybody. Again, I super appreciate it, and we'll see you guys next time.